You know, when it comes to role-playing, there are a lot of different people who like little different like tweaks and little different ways of playing the role-playing games. Some people enjoy the more mechanic-based stuff, you know, bringing out all the miniatures and focusing on strategy and, you know, all the game rules and that sort of stuff and playing it all out in that sort of type of, you know, game-like way. There are other people who enjoy more of the role-play aspect of it, you know, taking on a role of the character with quirky dialects and accents to you know, speak your dialogue in this kind of, you know, stage performance type of way. And you know, both of those are great. They're all fun, and you know, sometimes jokingly people like to call themselves either role players or role players, you know, for rolling dice and that sort of thing. And that's all good, you know, whatever floats somebody's boat, that's great. But something that sometimes gets, you know, put into the same box with the role players are rules lawyers, and lawyers in general, and that basically means that, you know, people who nitpick about, you know, certain little rules, and, you know, you're doing that correctly, or you're not doing that correctly, or I should have this and this bonus in this and this, and that sort of thing. Well, in the end, whether it's about rules in role play or, you know, stuff in role play, both styles and both type of camps have their own set of lawyers, and I've come across multiple in both camps. You know, I've come across, you know, lawyers when it comes to role playing, you know, talking about how you know, because they attacked somebody while they were trying to flee from combat, you know, because they hit them from, you know, behind or something, they should get this and this bonus, and you know, it's bullshit that their character became unconscious because they have this and this little thing here and that sort of thing, and that's all, you know. Nitpickers, you know, when somebody's a nitpicking, you know-it-all, nobody likes, you know, that sort of personalities in real life. But, you know, it's not like they don't exist, and a lot of people sometimes contribute that to the style of role playing, to the style of, you know, being into the mechanics, and I don't think that applies at all. It's all about the person. Somebody can be a nitpicking know-it-all in any field, whether it's role playing or anything else, and in role playing itself, it doesn't have to be that it's the mechanics based, rolling of the dice center, the strategy, miniatures, all that, for somebody to be that sort of a lawyer kind of player, because I've come across a lot of role players who are also these type of lawyers who go like, oh, you're playing a Black Fury tribe member and you're submitting to a male leader in a pack? Okay. Or, you know, your character is, she says that your character is selfish, but you're doing this charitable thing? Okay. You know, that sort of thing. Your character isn't supposed to be that smart, but he's formulating a plan? Okay, you know, that sort of thing. Your character's supposed to know about strategy, but he does this and this? Okay. You're a Ventru clan member, but you don't have any resources? Okay. That sort of thing. You know, it's just as annoying. You know, it's not only about, you know, paying that much attention to, like, a mechanic of 1 + 1 = 2, but it's also that there's this written, like, this is how these people behave, like, whether it's alignments, oh Christ, the arguments about alignments, or or a class, or a race, or a clan, or a tribe, or an auspice, or a breed, or an order, or anything like that. People have this preconceived notion that this is how it's supposed to be done, and if you stray from that, you're doing it somehow wrong. You know, you can pick out all sorts of flaws and characteristics for your character and justify doing all sorts of different things. And even if you don't do that, you don't have to have everything written down. That's why sometimes, you know, when it comes to, you know, looking at the lawyers at the table when it comes to role playing, it's just best to not show anybody what the character sheet says when it comes to like you know, oh, your character is supposed to be naive, but still he's you know, researching a conspiracy. Okay, that sort of thing, or anything like that. You know, it's they're still characters, they are people, they are not blocks of stats, they are not just, what's this and this about your character and the answer, they are people, people's change, people don't hold up to their statistics. Somebody might, if they write a character sheet for themselves, the next day they might write down differently or something. It's not that clear cut, if you're trying to make them look like three-dimensional, in-depth people, they have more facets to them than what the book says in this quick summary about a certain clan or a certain tribe or a certain alignment or something. And those things change. Even if you are of a certain clan, your allegiances may shift. Even if you are sort of a certain alignment, your alignment may change. And all these sort of different things, they are people. These are characters. They are people. They are not these descriptions being played out in their core, So I just wanted to throw this out there, that it's about people who are nitpickers and know-it-alls, not the play style, because there are know-it-alls in all the styles, in all hobbies, in all walks of life, so don't contribute that to the people playing in a mechanic-centered role-playing style, because, I've come across a ton of people in the role-play style that do the same. So, yeah, peace.